What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bring you incredible guests from all over the world, so sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is the founder of Exodus Place. His journey is unconventional as it is inspiring. He's a visionary entrepreneur who thrives on starting from the back. He has transformed communities through initiatives. Please welcome Robb Munger. Robb, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, I cannot wait to get into what you do. I want you guys to really sit back and listen to the incredible work that he's doing and making such an impact in his communities. Can you tell us a little bit about Exodus Place, how it started and what you do? Because that is really the highlight of the show today.
Well, yeah, it all started with helping a homeless person.
Yeah.
I thought I was being the white knight by putting the guy to work for my development company. And after about a week of hearing his story, I realized I wasn't the white knight helping him. God put this guy in my life to help me and to gain the wisdom. And so that was the start. And that was back in 2007. That really rocked my world. And then I ended up becoming a board member on a rescue mission here in Grand Rapids. The executive director, after a period, ended up resigning. And because I had helped lead the long-term strategic plan, the board asked me to step in as an intermediary executive director. And as doing that, what ended up happening is I learned of the need, unmet need of men in our community, because most of the homeless are men.
Yeah. And why is that? Do you have some statistics on why that is?
You know, I don't have the statistics handy right now, but the why is, women and children, they can utilize Section 8 here in Michigan, so they can get housing. And, as long as they follow all the rules, they can keep their housing. With men, the stigma is, and the reality is, hey, you should be working.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, people make mistakes, unfortunate things happen to them, and then that leads them to being homeless. And so that's a difficult situation.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And so you found a need for men that are homeless. And so so you were in real estate development, right? Prior to
real estate and then finance also. I had a finance company that I had sold, and this wasn't my cup of tea. It was not anybody. I would write checks for people that would, run rescue missions, help the homeless. And my wife and I always gave money. But if you asked me to do anything, I was like, no, my job in life is to give money. So I never saw myself being put in a position where I'd actually be actively working in a nonprofit.
Yeah. And
so I ended up turning around the rescue mission because they were at a point they really probably should have closed.
Okay.
And ended up turning the rescue mission around. A local agency did a study on a need assessment for Grand Rapids, and the number one need was transitional housing for men.
Okay.
So Exodus Place, this is a old Michigan Department of Corrections halfway house. It was the largest in the state. And it was built from private investors that built it and then leased it to the state. And the state, after 15 years, had decided not to renew the lease.
Okay.
So this building had been sitting vacant for 3 years.
How unfortunate.
Oh, it was. And at the time, I remember hearing on the radio that it was going to be closed.
Yeah.
But, well, great. We're going to save taxpayers' dollars. The unfortunate thing is they put the ankle bracelets on the guys coming out of prison. Well, now somebody that would typically stay at Exodus Place, or, the old halfway house, that's what it was called, could actually live like 601 feet away from their victim.
Oh, wow.
So good intentions. And then,
that's a little scary though, for people that were victimized.
It's very scary. I mean, if seeing some of those reports, it gives me a pause, obviously.
Sure.
It should be handled a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But, it's the state, the judicial system has it's a tough situation. I mean, they're trying to do their personal best. It's a large population, and so
Yeah.
but I ended up bringing this building, what we call Exodus Place, to the rescue mission. Asked the board to step in, and I had a donation set to have this building donated to the rescue mission. The rescue mission said, "Hey, you just got us out of the fire. We're not gonna, get in trouble again." And so I ended up tendering my resignation. Figured I'd just go back to my regular job. I did my God thing. I said, "Hey, I punched my ticket to get into heaven." That was a feeling I had.
Yeah.
And I ended up going out with my wife one night, and I still remember it. My background's Army officer, field artillery, so ground pounder, finance, real estate entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I'm used to tough things. I don't cry a whole lot. All of a sudden I started crying. And I felt the Holy Spirit that say, you need to do this project.
Yeah.
So I started Exodus Place with 4 homeless guys. The foundation that was going to donate the money for the rescue mission said, "Hey, you're not a nonprofit yet. Even if you become one real quick, you don't have any longevity, so we're not going to back you."
Wow.
So I acquired Exodus Place, or this building, with $100 a month lease, with an agreement of assuming almost $300,000 in back taxes.
Whew. It's a lot.
And this was 2009.
Yeah.
You talk about resilience and tenacity.
Yeah.
So I did it with 4 homeless guys, and then we ended up having about 60 people come, volunteers and donors, that would be working in our facility each day, redoing it because the fire suppression system had burst.
Oh, wow.
And so the whole building smelled like mold and mildew, and all the paint had peeled because in Michigan it gets super cold.
Right.
So when I had brought the rescue mission board members through, and their defense, the place looked absolutely horrible. There was lights arcing because the water. I mean, it was a disaster.
Project and a half for sure.
Oh yeah.
Nothing good comes easy.
No, it doesn't. The original guys slept on the floor. I brought sleeping bags in.
Wow.
Slept on the floor, and so it was a labor of love.
Yeah. And now, where is it today, and what does the program look like for the men that you are helping, and how many men? Like just the whole. I guess so many questions.
Typically, we have 135 men in our program.
Okay.
40 staff people. Our turn number is about double, so we'll help anywhere from 270 to 400, and I think 30 is our high number in a year.
Wow.
So
huge.
Because they're living here.
Right.
And then the recidivism rate, the guys that come into our program, them going back to prison, is now down to about 1%.
That's amazing.
It is.
Because that's not typical. Usually once they're in the system, they stay in the system.
It is.
Unfortunately.
And I'm not a pastor. I'm not a ex-police officer. I'm not an ex-parole officer or probation officer. I'm this just dumb business guy that's...
Well, I would think you're pretty smart.
Yeah.
Considering what you've done.
But that's what I've been accused of, is I don't know how to run a program, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I said, you know what? If we lean into changing the culture, start showing guys how the culture around them shapes them, we can actually change people's lives and really change their direction in life. And so that's what we're doing here constantly.
Yeah, no, I love that. And why do you think you have such a great success rate with your program with some of these men that have been in the system?
We have 3 pillars here, and we live by it, and we have a couple really foundational things. The pillars are, the first pillar is men, mission, which is a hand up instead of a handout, and then me. And so instead of saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, it's like, what can I do for you? And so we teach the members, the men, hey, you need to be serving first, and then looking at how we can offer a hand up instead of a handout to themselves and then to others, and then look at their needs last instead of being narcissistic.
Right.
The next one is train, develop, and communicate. One of the key issues I saw was we had a time where the guys, it was probably 7:30, 8 o'clock at night when we were trying to get this place cleaned up, and they dumped a 5-gallon pail of paint.
Oh,
Well, everybody's hot, sweaty because it's dead of summer. We didn't have the air conditioning going in the building. It's 38,000 square feet.
wow.
And now we have to clean up the paint. Plus, paint was expensive, so it's
It's a loss.
commodity to lose. And there was pretty much, it was going to get into a fist fight with the guys. I said, hey, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
They go, but we painted all day. Now we have to clean it up. And it took another hour of cleaning to get everything cleaned up. Went home and reflected on what I had in my early childhood. And the reality is we're always training and we're always developing and then communicating. When a guy comes out of prison, and since we only have men here, that's why I just keep referring back to men. But when a man comes out of prison, most of them have a substance abuse or something. So alcohol and drugs numb people down. So when numb them down, they don't communicate.
Yeah.
So communication's a critical thing. They've been told they're wrong or they're not good enough.
Right. The labels, they got labels on them.
Amen. Amen. That's why I love your podcast name is Label Free. It's what I started doing is I said, hey, let's look at this as training.
Right.
You're not going to, I talk about Tom Brady because a lot of people know. So Tom Brady doesn't complete every pass in practice or in the games.
Right. Yeah.
And so he has to train, and then he develops a skill and keeps developing a skill. And then eventually, he gets better with his skill, but he's not perfect.
Right.
But you have to communicate. You have to have a huddle. And so we have to communicate with each other. You can't assume somebody knows what you're thinking.
Right.
And so probably the biggest thing I really demand here is communication.
I think that's good. Because I think men don't, well, number one,
we don't communicate.
They're not the best at communicating, and because it's a learned behavior, and if you're married, your wife is going to force you to communicate. But men that are coming out of those circumstances, I can't even imagine how bottled up and how misled, and just a lack of education around the importance of that.
Oh, you're exactly right. We had a situation on Monday, and I talked to my operations manager. I said, Jen, okay, these guys don't communicate well.
Right.
So we got to really keep forcing the communication. We have good people with poor communication skills. And because we had a couple people with great intents, they both want to solve the problem.
Right.
But they weren't communicating well. And so we just got everybody together and we sat down and we said, where are you at? They listed it out. The other person listed out, and they both said, well, we're not really that far off. I said, well, how much communication have you done? Well, not much. We're assuming. And I go, oh, okay. And
dangerous to assume.
Exactly. So we have that second pillar. So train, develop, and communicate.
Yeah.
And then the third one is love, compassion, and accountability.
I like that.
So we lead off with love. And I've had psychiatrists and everybody say, well, you have to define love. And I go, I really don't care what the definition is. I know there's several definitions for love and labels for love, but you take it wherever you want it. Okay. But we need to be, not judging people and labeling them.
Yes.
And then compassion, and compassion is action to me.
Right.
So if they need clothes, we get them clothes. If they need shoes, they get shoes. If they need medical care, we get them medical care. If they need spiritual care, we give them spiritual care. If they need mental health care, we get them mental health care. If they need work, we help them get work. But we're also with them. So when they go to work and they have struggles, they have somebody to come home and talk to.
Sure. Oh, that's
and that last one is accountability. So if you want to smoke crack in our building, unfortunately, you're going to see the accountability situation. You're going to be asked to leave for 24 hours.
Wow.
So
that's good though.
It is. And it's communicated up front.
Yeah.
And that's probably the hardest things with the guys is they go, doggone it. You labeled all, or, listed all the rules.
Yeah.
And I knew that was a rule, and I knew you guys followed through on that accountability thing. Yeah. But we don't do it. We hold them accountable with compassion.
Sure. Well, yeah, if they're got just 24 hours, I mean, hopefully they take that 24 hours and reflect like that's not worth it, right?
That's it.
Do they come back with a different mindset then?
Oh, yeah. A lot of times they come back. They'll come back either crying, come back and want to give us a hug, and they'll say they're sorry. Or the third is kind of, well, nuts on you. I'm not following your rules. But 2/3 of them will come back and say, hey, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to handle things this way.
That's good. What's the average length of stay for the men that you're helping there?
Great question. Typically, it ranges. So I'll say I've had like a mid to probably upper level business manager here. He's here for about a week and a half, or an engineer. They go, you know what? I just realized, I wasn't Teflon and I was not handling my life correctly. And they get their act together really quick. So they're out. The average, I would say, is probably about 9 months.
Okay.
Now, on the flip side of that, we also have a upper spectrum where we have some guys that have been here for 5 to 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And people say, well, why are you letting them stay here? Well, they have had such emotional damage and trauma that they need more direct services to successfully transition on.
Yeah.
And we do a case management assessment each month. So all the case managers will sit down, they'll review their weekly notes for each of the men. And then there will be some that it's very obvious they have good savings, they have a vehicle, they have a car, they have some outside support.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, hey, you've done your job so well, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And the guys are like, at that point, they're like, wait, we know this system and we're successful with this system. We don't want to move on. And
right.
You have to nicely tell them they have to leave, which is, they've done everything right, but the whole objective is to hand up and get them moving forward, not to keep them here permanently. This is not an apartment complex.
Right. But it sounds like you've got such a great community that's probably hard for them to leave. They feel safe, right?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing the guys will say. Rob, I feel safe.
Yeah.
Why do I have to leave? And it's like, I got it. You can come back. And we have quite a few that come back, to help or just to say hi. But it's funny how many guys have talked to me that have successfully transitioned out that say, hey, can I move back in? And I go, but I have guys that own a house, have an apartment, have great jobs. I know they have good savings.
Yeah.
And they still go, hey, the system works there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure being on their own after they've experienced so many traumatic things, being in prison or whatever, that the fear of ending back up in the system is probably a fear factor for them. And knowing that they're there and they're protected and they're being held accountable, that's probably huge. And so do you talk to them? I know you offer counseling, but do you talk to them about that fear piece? Do they acknowledge that?
All of them acknowledge it. I mean, I had a big gangbanger guy. He has to weigh probably 320 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you don't know what he bench presses. He's just a beast of a guy. And he told me, he goes, I'm scared. And I looked at him, I said, you gotta be kidding me. You look like a beast. And tears came down his cheek, and he's like, Rob, I'm safe here. I know nobody will hurt me. And I go,
Oh my gosh.
nobody's gonna hurt you outside of here.
Well, but to be that vulnerable is probably huge for him, you know?
Oh yeah, it got me crying. I mean, I was like, because the pain in that guy's heart.
Yeah.
And that's where, the judging and labeling people. So if you saw them, you would judge them, label
Right.
one.
Yeah.
That I see him, he's just being tough outside, so he doesn't get to be vulnerable. He doesn't get his feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. So there's always a difference. There's another story behind the story.
Yeah, for sure. You said he is a gang member. Do you ever like rival gang members stay there at the same time? Do you ever have any issues with that?
We have had a few little verbal.
Yeah. Okay.
The one rule I have here is there's zero violence.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the most extreme punishment that will come will be because of violence. So okay. The person will get arrested. I will file I will file reports with the prosecutor. I will do everything to help keep that guy in prison for a while.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
so,
Good.
Oh yeah.
Good.
And I go, I'll do this. And they go, all of them go, I mean, my reputation now is this, we know you will do this. There's no option. You will. And so the guys it was funny, probably about 8 years ago, they all just said, you know what? We're tired of Rob dealing with us. So we're just not going to allow violence in the building.
Right. Good.
So now it's not really me directing it. It's the men going, hey guys.
Right.
This isn't who we are here. So if you want to fight and you need to go to a different place, you're not welcome here because you want to work together. And so you just don't hear, we have 135 men here and there's we've had, I think, one physical, skin to skin contact, maybe a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago.
Good. That's good. They've taken the rules seriously.
They do. And the thing is they police it themselves. They want a better life. And if you offer it and you create that structure, they'll take it. And that's what we offer here.
Right. I think that's beautiful. And have you considered mirroring this in other parts of the country or just staying in Michigan?
What I'm doing, great question. What I'm doing right now is our staff is taking our standard operating procedure and we're putting it into a manual to share with other organizations.
Oh, wow.
The objective here is for the capital required to keep building, our building, to rebuild our building, it would be between $13 and $15 million to build it, the everything, the furniture, and then staffing. And so it'd be very costly to do around the country. So what we did with our board of directors, we said, hey, let's start putting a standard operating procedure together that we could share with other nonprofits that want to emulate and, take what we're doing,
right,
and put their own flavor on it. We know what we're doing here and we're successful at what we're doing. So we figure if we did a standard operating procedure manual for everybody, we could share that and get the word out faster than doing it by a capital raise and putting facilities out there.
I love that. And so where can people find you, connect with you, and support you in the work that you're doing? ExodusPlace.org.
And then if somebody wants to contact me, fill out the information on our contact info and I'll respond.
Excellent. You guys, I'm going to put that link in the show notes. So if you want to reach out to Robb, talk to him about the great work he's doing, or support his non-for-profit, then please go click that link, go connect with him, and, help make an impact like he's clearly doing in his community. Robb, this is a part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
I'd say, and humanity-wise, is lead with compassion and understanding, which is difficult today. But if we have more of that, I think our world would be much nicer.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and the work that you're doing. I mean, it's like people like you that really make a huge impact and make a difference. I mean, you're helping men transform their lives and create a better future for themselves. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things.